Hello guys, it's me, Galaxy Eyes, and I'm back again today with another video. Like I said before, I was going to try and do more screen recording type things, and I just went in my Pinterest that you can see here, and was like, man, I have a lot of homestuck headcannons in a thing, in like a, I don't know what it would be called, but yeah. And so I thought, hey, why not go through them and give you my reaction to them. And maybe if you don't know what homestuck is, you'll know some of these headcannons and think it's pretty cool. Or something like that. And maybe you'll even learn a little bit more about homestuck on the process through headcannons somehow. I don't know. Let's get to it. I'm going to pause this. Pausing. Okay, so here we got my homestuck headcannon thing. Let's start with this one. Carcat is considerably shorter than Dave, and so Dave loves to tease him by ruffling his hair and playing with his nubby horns, or resting his chin on top of his head, commenting on his size. Carcat always gets flustered and yells at him, but Dave just keeps doing it because he thinks Carcat's cute when he's being a flustered little tsundere. I can actually see this happening. I literally can see this happening a lot. It just makes sense. And yes, I understand Carcat would definitely be shorter than a lot of people and trolls because that's just how he is. He's short. He's a short troll boy. Moving on. Dave got Carcat to play Skyrim while they were on the asteroid. A phrase Carcat uses regularly as a result is fuss row fuck. I have never played Skyrim, so I have no idea I have no idea if that's actually from it or not, or whatever that is, but I could see him liking a phrase and saying it over and over again and saying, this is my catchphrase, don't mess with me. Just out of spite. Limebloods were, because apparently they all died out or something, Limebloods were super tall, but were always short for their first 7 sweeps. Sweeps is their age type thing. When Carcat first met Cancri, he barely reached Cancri's waist, and that made him so mad that he didn't talk to anyone for days. Knowing Carcat's personality and everything, I can see this. Him being a short boy, walking up to his ancestor, and being like, having to look up just to see his face would probably be really annoying. But if I was that way, if I was him, I probably wouldn't have not talked to anyone for days. Like, it's like locking himself in his room. Just go away. You don't understand my pain. So, yeah, I can actually see this happening well. Dave and Carcat founded founded most of their friendship most of their friendship after Carcat gave in to a little game Dave played with him. And apparently it's them saying each other's name in a really, really long and dreadful way. Why can't I imagine Carcat and Dave just going, Carcat, and Carcat's like, Dave! I can imagine this happening though. Okay, next one. Whenever Carcat gets worked up, he will start muttering to himself, telling himself to calm down, and ends up rambling to himself, and zones out as he does so. When Dave notices, he will go over to Carcat and hug him until he calms down. They usually cuddle and talk afterwards. Now that is adorable, and I can really see it happening because, like, bromance, just a whole big pile of bromance between Carcat and Dave. I can just tell. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it happening real well. This isn't really a headcanon like the others, but it was in my headcanon, so we must go over it. Let's not pay attention to our notifications. Okay, someone you want. Sometimes you want someone. Sorry. And you want to kiss them and be with them, but you can't. Because responsibility demands sacrifice. That is sad. So if you didn't get it, I'll explain it for you. Crochet is celibate, which means in our terms, he's asexual. Or technically, actually, in our terms, he's aromantic, which means he doesn't do romance at all. Or anything like of the sort that has to do with love. But alas, as trolls and humans, feelings get in the way of everything. So, of course, Crochet here has feelings for Latula. This one, but Latula likes Matuna, which is this one. So he can't have her. And I think that was actually the reason he became celibate, because he was like, if Latula doesn't love me, then I'll never love anyone else ever again. And okay, so this is Aqueous, and this is Aradia. Aqueous loves Aradia, but the last time he tried to hug or touch someone, he crushed them because he is very strong, and sometimes he can't handle being too strong. That is hence why, if you don't know what Aqueous look like, look him up. Hence why his horn is broken, because apparently he accidentally grabbed it and it snapped off because he doesn't know how to handle his own strength. So he can't kiss Aradia and love her like he wants to, because he's afraid he will hurt her like he accidentally hurt Peta. This is Peta. She likes Carcat, loves Carcat, but Carcat doesn't love her back. Carcat loves someone else, just like this part here. So yeah, and then we got this, whatever this is. I actually have no idea what this part is about, but I know what this part's about. I don't know what this part's about, but this one, Dave, right here, well, before he became a sprite. This is Dave's brother, the only one in his family he had left. And apparently, while he was fighting or something, fighting an evil person, a bad guy, he accidentally stabbed his brother. So his brother is now dead. And he was like, no. So that's what's going on there. Alright, that's really sad. Now let's go on to something more. Let's go into something more nice, I guess. I haven't read a lot of these. Or either that or I don't remember them. Now, Peta and Aqueous met when Aqueous was bullying two unnamed lowbloods, probably some lime bloods or something. Peta stood up to him and Aqueous challenged her to fight. Peta beat him, but couldn't until he couldn't move and was covered in blood. Then he asked if they could do something together sometime. Okay, listen, Aqueous has a thing for high bloods. Like, anytime he's around a high blood, he's like, oh my god, I can't. He's like, he gets all, like, flustered and sweaty, and it's gross. But, like, he's Peta's morale, which is, like, best friends that you, like, best friend, like, best friend, like, best friend. Like, you'd tell him everything, you'd do everything with him. Not everything, but, like, mostly everything. Like, you'll cuddle with them, you might kiss them on the cheek sometimes, you know? Yeah. But, like, and that is how, apparently, Peta and Aqueous's moralgence, that's the full term for morale, started. Because she beat him. He's supposed to be the strongest out of all of them. And if someone else beats him, apparently, or even stands up to him, he will instantly like you. Not like you, I guess, but he'll like you in some form or shape. Which is how they became morals, apparently. But I'm imagining Peta just beating him till he was bleeding and on the ground, and he's like, hey, you wanna, like, hang out sometime? You're, like, really strong, and I think I like you. Alright, next one. Dave would always sing, "You are my sunshine," to Carcat whenever he got the chance, or when Carcat was upset, and it would normally end up with Carcat cuddling into Dave's chest as he sang along. Now that is just adorable, and I can totally see it happening because bromance, and also because Carcat is, like, as angry as he acts, he's just a big floof ball of cuddly lovingness on the inside if you know how to treat him right. And Dave knows how to treat him right to get that big floof ball of cuddly lovingness out of him. And I could totally see it. It's adorable, and I love it. Okay, next one. Oh, I'm so sorry, a lot of these are like Carcat and Dave. I just really like Carcat and Dave headcannons because they're the cutest ones I'd say, because they're just so polar opposite that it just is cute, I guess. Okay, so we got, when Concrete doesn't talk, instead, he hums. Carcat would sit next to him just to hear him hum, and would slowly fall asleep due to the soothing voice of Concrete. Okay, Concrete and Carcat are both Vantuses, which means they're related. I can see this because Concrete kind of has that, like, brotherly feel to him, ranting brotherly feel, but like brotherly feel all through. And I can totally see him doing this. And Carcat, just as the big floof ball of cuddly lovingness he is on the inside, I can see him just snuggling up to his big brother figure, technically. They don't call them brothers, they call them ancestors, but you know. Big brother figure, and just falling asleep to him humming, because that's just how he is on the inside, that he doesn't show anyone except the ones he truly trusts. And I also think there's a headcanon for Vantis's on a Vantis scale, like Cancri, Carcat, and I think it's called the Signless. That's his name. I don't know. His name is the Signless. But yeah, that the Vantises, as I just said their names, all their names, can sing really well, and it's like the most unbelievable, beautifulest thing ever. But they don't sing because Carcat's too busy yelling at everybody. Cancre's too busy ranting about triggers, and I don't know what the heck Silas is doing, but it's said that when a Vantis sings, it's the most beautifulest thing ever. And it's soothing. Which is why that if you're near a Vantis when they're singing, or even humming apparently, you will definitely fall asleep from the soothing sound. Next one. Ironically, Dave knows how to crochet, but because of his crush on John, Dave will secretly make and send him things. John, who can't tell crochet from knit, always thinks it's from Rose. Dave swore her to secrecy, but she thinks he should just confess. Meanwhile, she's teaching John the difference between knit and crochet and hopes John will eventually figure out the whole thing for himself. Okay, John, as a main character, is really dense to simple things like that. And I could totally see him not knowing crocheting from knit. I don't think I even know crochet from knit, except the pattern or something. I don't really know. I've never seen an actual knitting. I've never compared them, so I wouldn't know if I could tell the difference. But if he can't tell, but he's dense, so it might just be a simple difference between them that anyone who's not a dense or a complete idiot can totally see. No offense to y'all who can't figure out what knitting and crochet is, the difference between them. But I could totally see this. Like, Dave, as ironic as it sounds, is like that cool guy kid that thinks he's so cool and kind of narcissistic, that kind of everyone wants to hang out, but at the same time doesn't. But to think that Dave, as that kind of persona, as that kind of personality, would be able to know how to crochet is unbelievable. But in a believable way, if you get what I'm saying. So I could totally see him actually doing that and sending him stuff. Moving on. When Roxy's upset, Dirk makes her hot chocolate, and he always makes sure to use the pink marshmallows. As this person said down here, best friends. I mean, Roxy and Dirk have been through a lot together, and they've definitely probably been together since, like, young age. Especially since I think they're kind of related. At some point in time, their mom and dad got married or something. But the problem is, no, I think they're just related by, like, how long they've known each other, actually. Because, like Dave and Rose, which are, like, the little siblings of Derek and Roxy. They've known each other for a long time and see each other as the one's sibling. Therefore, they will comfort each other as siblings often do, unless you're an evil little brat and is very mean. I know one for sure that I would, if I had any siblings that actually lived with me, I would definitely, if one of them was upset and liked hot chocolate, I would make them hot chocolate. It's just common sense. It's just a common sense for older siblings to do that. Moving on. Dave is in fact a total musical savant. He can play any musical instrument after observing it being played or reading sheet music for it. He just chooses to focus on rap and hip-hop because it's his favorite. Listen, like I said, Dave being the ironic because it is Dave being that cool kid that you want to be around but also don't want to be around, likes hip-hop and rap a lot, to sing it, to rap and stuff, but I know this already. And yes, I could totally see Dave being that one person who has musical prodigy type personality. Not personality. I can see Dave as a musical prodigy, but him not willing to go to his full extent just because he doesn't wanna. Moving on. Whenever Aqueous defends Peta, it's not that she's too weak, obviously, as we've seen before, because apparently she beat him to almost death. She's just too much of a queen to deal with petty trolls, plus it gives him something to do. Listen, he has a lot of spare time. Aqueous has a lot of spare time on his hands, which is why he builds robots and stuff, because he has way too much time on his hands. And also, that's like his hobby, building robotic type things and hanging out with Peta, as a morale should. Peta, though, being the person she is not weak. And I could totally see her. She is a queen. Well, not a queen, but like she is the definition of a beautiful queen. But she's not the actual queen. But like, you know what I mean? But like, I mean, a lot of the trolls that live in the timeline aren't really petty, I'd say. I mean, other than like Vriska and Aridin, I'd say there's literally no one else she really has to like deal with. No offense to Aridin, though. Aridin's underrated, very much so, and Vriska's just a bitch. So yeah, Vriska's just a bitch. Though Carcat probably would be one of them he'd have to deal with, just if she's like relaxing and stuff or sleeping. Carcat just comes in, just about to start yelling, and then Aqueous just gives him a fucking glare. I could totally see it. This is cute, and it's totally canon. It's totally probably canon. Cronus actually has a genuine flush crush on Canary. He doesn't hit on Cancri because of that. He knows about Cancri's celibacy and doesn't want to be rejected by someone he actually cares about. Okay, Cronus, on the outside, he seems like a flirty bastard who just wants to fuck with you. Just wants to get in your pants and then leave you the next morning. But the truth is about Cronus, he's just lonely. He's not lonely, but he's like lonely, He's got Cancri to hang out with all the time, whenever he feels like it. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other people who could probably hang out with who doesn't totally hate him for flirting all the time. But I could totally see Cronus having an actual flush crush on Cancri and wanting to date him, but him be celibate and not want love at all. And him being the person that he is doesn't want to push his luck with Cancri and his friendship with Cancri as it is, because Cancri might be as the self-conscious, well, he's not self-conscious, but as Cronus probably is afraid of, he's afraid of getting rejected and Cancri not wanting to be near him anymore because he knows that he likes him. And that is what he's truly afraid of. And that is why he doesn't flirt with Cancri. And he doesn't try to confess. Moving on. Actually, I think we're gonna stop it here. If y'all want more, let me know. But I'll probably do more on my own time anyway. I'm running out of ideas for videos. So if you have any idea of what I could do other than this, but still, tell me if you want more of this, please let me know, and I will try as hard as I can to make it happen. Goodbye, my little planets, stars, and black holes. I hope you have a galactically bright day.